If they ever made a sequel to the movie It's a Wonderful Life, it could be done about Wayne Meredith. Wayne's a genius.
He is one of the most determined people I've ever met.
He's very clever with words and has lots of Wayneisms.
You know, he's somebody when you see him walking down the hallway, you're glad to see him.
He would always put the people he worked with ahead of his own needs.
You don't get the sense that Wayne is doing it for his own aggrandizement, but it's always in service to others.
I grew up with the principles of integrity, hard work, and love Wake Forest. So I've been connected with Wake Forest at some level or another for over 50 years. It's been a love affair. It's been a roller coaster. It's been terrific, actually.
Well, what you don't know is that behind everything that Wayne says is a whole world that he has changed in medicine.
Wayne is the father of modern trauma care and has done a phenomenal amount of work in surgical services.
He really took our trauma system and made it superior.
He has been able to institute changes across the whole structure of how we respond to trauma.
He created a pediatric trauma foundation. Even though he's not a pediatric trauma surgeon, he was the lead to it. He's nationally and internationally known for what he's done in trauma.
We began the process of integrating the hospital and the School of Medicine into what we now know as Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. And Wayne was one of the principal physician architects of that.
He was a critical leader in understanding Wake Forest culture and what we had to preserve as we became bigger.
Wayne has taken us from an outstanding regional medical center to a nationally recognized surgical place to go and get your training and place to go and get your care. And then he becomes the first faculty member at Wake Forest to be the president of the American College of Surgeons.
The American College of Surgeons is actually one of the largest surgical societies in the world. We focus on pretty much everything that helps surgeons help patients. So Dr. Meredith is another icon, of course, and his leadership is really transformative. When we think about organized trauma systems, trauma care, and literally life-saving innovation.
He was right out there on the front lines. He was seeing patients, he was doing surgery, he was taking call.
Patients were at the center of everything that Wayne basically focused on.
As a leader, he asked for everyone's opinion and developed consensus.
As leaders, sometimes you really think you're supposed to make the decision quick, have it all together. So he taught me that, where maybe we don't have to make the decision today. Some decisions are better tended to.
He was willing to understand more opposing points of view, take those into account, and I think he became more of a passionate leader who drew differences toward him rather than similarities.
I think that's another attribute of a great leader like Wayne, is that we all have our biases, but if you bring in a diverse group of people as decision makers, can really enlighten us into what we don't know. And Wayne was brilliant at that.
He wanted to make sure that everyone was represented, that every voice was heard. He basically is there to serve others. That is Wayne.
I try to live my life with the presumption of virtuous intent.
That is a Wayne Meredithism that, before you become negative about anything, think of what the person is saying and why they might be saying it and understand it better.
Trust is so important. And when you're in an environment where everyone's really trying to do their best for their patients, and if you're assuming that people are not doing their best, then it doesn't work. And so you have to assume that that is actually what people are willing to do.
I try to train and inspire others to live their life with a presumption of virtuous intent, because you have to be accountable. And I think that is so parallel to pro humanitate. That is so parallel to the way of being that we want to be in the culture of Wake Forest, that it has molded that concept in me, and I have tried to propagate that in every nook and cranny of the institution that I can.
His mentorship lives on in so many surgeons, in so many parts of healthcare. It's hard to overestimate the wisdom that he can provide.
He has an impact on patients' lives that he has never even seen.
Presume virtuous intent. I think that has to be the life lesson that's most sticks with me and affects more of the way I do things than anything else.
I received a phone call from Wayne. He said, you know, I have something to tell you. And
He told me that he had acute myelocytic leukemia. And they told him, if you do nothing, you have about a week. If you get a bone marrow transplant at your age, you only have a 30% chance of survival.
It was an ordeal. And one of the ways I survived it was I developed the motto of endure, adapt, survive, and thrive.
Came up with the acronym EAST, and that's the way he wrestled control back under his domain.
Wayne's attitude about life is, if you think the very best outcome will happen, chances are that that is what will happen.
I think he's here today mostly due to his determination.
He was actually so instrumental in the lives of so many people at the medical center. When it was time to name the new project at the medical center for the new phase of where we are today, guess what they named it? EAST, in honor of Wayne.
Project East became the rallying cry behind the tower, and really, I think, brought people together when people needed to be brought together.
You know, to have someone so knowledgeable and so understanding of how all the different pieces of surgery fit together. He really has affected Wake Forest in so many ways and developed us into such a better place to be.
Wayne has really done amazing work in bringing honor to Wake Forest.
He really helped orchestrate that tower, and then surprised me. Our board named it after me, so it's the Julian Freischlag Tower, which shocked me, to tell you the truth.
It's been one of the greatest pleasures and honors of my life to be able to work with Julie. Julie is one of those people you want to be around, because if you can become more like Julie, you will be better off for it.
When Julie Freischlag came to Wake Forest, it was really thrilling for all of us.
In the vascular surgery world, Dr. Freischlag has been a trailblazer, so we all know of her.
We needed a person who could dream beyond where we had been before.
And Wayne had known Julie for a long time. The partnership that they developed really raised the clinical significance of our medical center nationally.
It was such a natural fit. When Julie arrived, it was like all of us realized, wow, this is what we needed.
She has just this incredible amount of energy, like puts us all to shame.
She packs 40 hours into every day.
She can literally listen to 3 or 4 conversations and participate in all of them.
To be multiple places all at the same time is just a huge skill, and one that she's used for the betterment of Wake.
She has really paved the trail for all women in surgery. We were so lucky that we were able to see all of what she is.
The first woman chair of surgery at Johns Hopkins, certainly one of the very, very few in early surgery and in early vascular surgery. And she has never forgotten that part of her job is to make a pathway for women in medicine.
She's been very formative in kind of my trajectory as a leader at Wake. She saw some potential in me that I didn't necessarily see in myself at the time. I think if I hadn't have known Julie, I don't think I would have felt like I was able to take on a leadership role.
She always made a point to make sure that I stayed true to myself. And that has really empowered me.
After Wayne was named the president of the American College of Surgeons, the very next year, Julie Freischlag becoming the president of the American College of Surgeons. Never happened before where two surgeons from the same place were back-to-back presidents of the American College of Surgeons. That is really an amazing tribute to the Wake Forest School of Medicine and Wake Forest University.
She has done a lot of things that are firsts, whether that be creating opportunities for those who don't have them. That's a passion of hers, and she has just shattered that ceiling.
What she is most known for is bringing people together.
She can build teams that are the highest functioning. She says this is her superpower, is that she can look into your soul and see what kind of person you are. And she can.
You just can't be around her and not be inspired to do better at what you do.
I feel like the mentoring and sponsoring part is so strong coming from her. I felt like she really made Wake Forest a people's place.
Just looking out for everyone who is there, but those who are not there.
She just has that vision of how she can make you better and how she can connect you and how then you can pay that forward to other generations.
When she came in, she noticed that we were not delivering babies.
And it didn't make any sense because really women make most of the health decisions for their families. So if they deliver the baby with you, they'll probably stay and be with you.
I was the chief of surgery, and she came to me and said, Wayne, we only have so much money and we have got to build a birthing center. That was a courageous thing for her to see, and she was right. And she was brave enough to know that she was right.
In the first year, we delivered 3,200 babies.
When Julie came, we began to do a study about if we wanted to become a very preeminent academic medical center, how large would we need to be? What kind of resources would we need to accomplish that? And one of the things that became apparent to us was that no matter what we did, we weren't large enough for us to achieve the level of aspiration we actually had.
We acquired the High Point Memorial and Wilkes Medical Centers. But having said that, we needed that surgery tower, we needed that new ED facility.
We needed a partner. But we needed a partner who would fully appreciate the academic medical side. We found a great partner in Atrium who really wanted us to be at the core of what they were doing.
Julie knew that, she identified that, she was very clear about it. She led us to do the deal with Atrium.
It brought us the capital we needed to build out everything you've seen built out here along the way. Julie designed, worked with the team, and of course today it's a magnificent addition to the campus. And again, will deliver kind of care that for the next 50 years that we dream about for the community.
Then we decided it was a very fitting way to honor her service and name it after her.
Atrium also wanted us to build a second medical school campus in Charlotte.
Charlotte's been trying to open a med school for decades, and it just couldn't happen. And I believe that it was because the right people weren't involved in the conversation. And Julie is just the right person to be involved in that conversation.
So the Pearl is really a unique opportunity to leverage what we have with academics and innovation.
Growing into Charlotte, I think, has created opportunities for people in Winston-Salem, for people at the medical school that we never would have had before. Julie's legacy is preserving the most sacred parts of Wake Forest and of our culture and what it means to work for humanity and to serve humanity.
I think Wake Forest will be the destination training center. And whether that's in Winston-Salem or Charlotte, we will have prospective residents, we'll have medical students who will say, I want to go to Wake Forest.
Julie saw that with a lot of team and people, but it would not have been seen without her. I think one of the things that really strikes me is this place is incredibly visionary now. Like, there's nothing we can't do. And we always, that was living somewhere in Wake Forest, and that was somewhere in the School of Medicine, and Julie has brought that front and center.
Eternal gratitude to both Julie and Wayne. And kudos to Wake Forest for seeing the potential in both these people and allowing them to shape who we are and who we've become.